Hello and welcome again to this edition of Phi TV. I'm your host, Brad Swanson. We are coming to you just a few blocks from Florida's capital during the 2022 Florida legislative session. Today we're joined by a very old friend, meaning we've been friends for a long time. He's not old. Mike Rubin, President and CEO of the Florida Ports Council. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brad, for having me. Always good to see you, sir.
Well, it's always good to see you as well. And literally, you are the guy that taught me about ports so long ago when we must have been 12 back then.
We were very, very young.
we were advanced intellectually for our age. Okay, enough of that. So you're now the President and CEO of the Florida Ports Council, which you've served a lifetime of service to both that organization and the industry. How you liking it?
Well, it's been a great topic. I mean, as you know from our past, economic development's been a topic of mine since I was House staff just a few years ago. But seaport industry, and it's been great to be part of an industry that's grown so well. I have benefited my presidency from a lot of work, not only of people that came before me, but some of the best port directors, not only in the country, but I think in the world. So yeah, it makes my job a little easier when they're doing so well at their own seaports around the state. So
for folks that don't understand kind of where we were to where we are, just give our viewers a little taste of circa 2000. Our ports, like we didn't really have many cranes in the state. Miami was kind of still leading the way, but where were we then and where are we now?
Well, an excellent question. I mean, when you look at the trade routes, and everybody's a supply chain expert now, everybody's been focused on the West Coast. So it really is. I mean, you look at our supply chain, stuff was coming in east to west, and Florida was seen at the end of the road. Really, we capitalized on the expansion in the Panama Canal and our ability now to handle larger vessels. That's what it's been all about for a while now. You're actually seeing that as a result of the larger vessels over on the West Coast because they just can't take any more over there. So we've done a good job of investing in an ability to handle those larger vessels on Florida's container ports. Mm-hmm. And you're correct. Miami was number one. Jacksport's actually taken over for containerized cargo coming in.
No kidding, wow.
So it's a lot of investments. You got to have the cranes to do it, to reach further across those vessels. You got to have the wharf and dock area that can handle the larger vessels and more stuff moving in. So a significant amount of investments since 2000 in not only the port infrastructure, but those freight mobility infrastructure around the state as well.
Off-port. And the warehousing and the break bulk and how they break it all up and redistribute it. It's fascinating. And you've been in the middle of those conversations from day one.
A lot of discussions. We've managed to, I will tell you, DOT has been a great partner, and really, Governor DeSantis and before him, Governor Scott have been fantastic partners on it, focusing on that freight mobility. It was a significant change. If you look around the country at some of our fellow other sister ports in other states, they don't work well with their DOT. Yeah. Our DOT has become a significant partner. Our local government seaports do a lot of work with them, and a lot of state investments and a lot of local government investments and a little bit of federal investments, and we'll continue to hope for more on that one, but that's a whole nother discussion, perhaps.
Well, let's stay on that for a minute, because I happen to have the privilege of being in the room with you and your members while we were all advocating for the dredging of Port Everglades and Miami. And what most people don't know is those sat on the Army Corps of Engineers desk for 30 years? 29 years?
I think Everglades is over 30 now. They still haven't even started in Everglades.
It really took a bipartisan effort of the entire federal delegation and the seaports to get that moving under two different presidents, and they finally got it, and that was to capitalize on the expansion of the Panama Canal.
Well said. And back when Congress was a little more bipartisan, I can remember our Florida delegation. You had Dan Webster and Al C. Hastings, kind of a yin and yang of Republican and Democrats working together to pass some significant legislation on a DC level. Yeah. For years, they'd spent that Harbor Maintenance Trust Funds tax that's supposed to be for improvement of those harbors on other issues.
Right.
And finally made the changes, I want to say 2007, but I could be way off on that one. Yeah. They finally made the changes to allow for that, and we got some important money for several seaports.
Right. It seems like such a long time ago, but really it's that effort that then allowed those ports to expand, and really all the other ports to then expand as well. And it really is a cohesive system. So I could talk about this forever and hear from you forever. So let's stay on where you guys are today. We've only got a couple minutes left. Let's talk about, you mentioned everyone's a supply chain expert. You've been on national news. Tell us where Florida's seaports are in the supply chain opportunity, if you will, to capitalize on some of those failing systems out west.
Well, the good news about the failing systems out west is it's allowed us to demonstrate what we can do in Florida. They've benefited from it. Why change over on the West Coast? It's used to be a quicker movement. Yeah. Actually, it's not anymore. You're taking so long. You're slow steaming, as they say, moving that container ship vessel, through the Pacific, and you're waiting because you're going to wait, a month sitting off the coast of California. So now actually it's quicker to get over to the East Coast of the United States, either through the Suez Canal or through the Panama Canal. And it's allowed us to show that Florida can handle that cargo wherever it's coming from. We've got several container ports. You start at Jacksport, go all the way around. You even got Tampa. There's a lot of containers even coming in Panama City now. So we have invested in the ability to move that product. We're open 24/7. And we're going to continue to demonstrate to the world we're better. In fact, we're going to California at the end of this month to demonstrate to those Pacific shippers and those other entities involved in the movement of that freight. Say, Florida's the place to be. You want to get your cargo moved efficiently at a less cost? Come here. We'll not only deliver it to our third largest state in the country, but you can get it out of here and into the East Coast of the United States much quicker, much faster than you can over
with your friends
California.
in the rail world and in the trucking world as well.
That's true. Yeah. We're still working with the rail world. The trucking world, as you know, they're working hard and still looking for. There's a number of people, there's a number of jobs, and it's a great. If you're looking for a job and want to operate a truck, absolutely.
Give me in a quick 1-second answer. What's the total economic impact of the port industry on Florida's economy?
Well, we're in the billions. I mean, we represent over 10% of that gross domestic product here in Florida, if you look
Incredible.
at that. So, and the taxes are COVID's thrown a kind of twist into it, so it's hard to give the exact number on it, but we're over 120 billion of state and local taxes coming into
Well, great economic generator. Mike, thank you so much for coming on. You promised to come back and give us an update on how you guys are doing?
Absolutely. I've always loved to talk to you about it because I know you find it interesting, and I do as well, so whenever you want me, I'm here for you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Mike Rubin, Florida Ports Council.
Thank you, Brad.
That's all the time we have for this episode of Phi TV. Make sure you hit us up on our social media feeds for more great interviews like this one. And for now, thanks for tuning in.